Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
Do you know where the candidates stand on the issue this coming election? Hi, I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Joining me is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. And today we're going to be talking about the voter guides that Liberty Counsel Action and Liberty Counsel have. They are C3 compliant. It's a voter guide with regards to the presidential candidates and also with regards to a number of Senate races in a number of states, about 10 different states. So they're not all the different candidates across the country, but as we get new voter guides, we will post those for individuals to be able to educate themselves on the issues that the candidates believe and the issues that are coming up for this coming election.
Yeah, it's really a fantastic resource for folks. It's comprehensive. We go through a number of the important issues that are pressing in this election that voters care about. We talk about abortion and human life. We kind of parse where the candidates stand on the positions. For instance, with abortion and human life, as we have clearly illustrated, President Obama voted against the Born Alive Infant Protection Act, which would have required medical assistance to be provided to a child born alive during an attempted abortion. He voted against that as an Illinois senator, the Illinois version of that, whereas Mitt Romney, for instance, believes that life begins at conception. Those are just one example. And then we go through a number of other issues related to abortion, for instance, and show where the candidates stand on those issues. This is something that every voter should have before they go into the voting booth on November 6th.
No question about it. This particular voter guide, you can get it at lcaction.org or lc.org as well. And these are C3 compliant. These do not take a position on the candidate. It just sets forth their positions, and you can make your own decision. Under the abortion and human life, it speaks about, for example, President Barack Obama supports federal funding of organizations that promote and provide abortion, and also has other information in there about his position. For example, the HHS federal mandate that requires employers of a religious persuasion to actually provide contraception, sterilization, including abortion-inducing drugs. On the other hand, Mitt Romney, on the other column, supports overturning Roe v. Wade, supports the Hyde Amendment, which prohibits the use of federal funding for abortions, except in the cases of rape, incest, and the life of the mother. And it goes on and on. It also then moves into family values. And this is a comparison between President Barack Obama and Governor Mitt Romney. And with regards to same-sex marriage, President Obama has specifically stated that he supports same-sex marriage, whereas Mitt Romney, on the other side, says that he supports a constitutional amendment defining marriage as the union of one man and one woman. President Obama supports the repeal of the Defense of Marriage Act and has indicated that he believes it is unconstitutional. And on the other hand, Mitt Romney supports defending the Federal Defense of Marriage Act and states that he would appoint an attorney general who will defend and support that particular law.
Yeah, interestingly, we have here President Obama supports federal benefits for same-sex partners of federal employees, which is contrary to the letter of the Defense of Marriage Act. In fact, President Obama unilaterally implemented that policy from his administration did, whereas Mitt Romney, as you mentioned, stands in full support of the Defense of Marriage Act. President Obama supports using U.S. influence and funding to liberalize laws in foreign countries to advance lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender rights and issues. He supports comprehensive sex education, which is that sex education that really it starts very, very young. You may recall President Obama saying at one point during the campaign in 2008 that he supports it for kids as young as kindergarten for this very graphic, very direct sex education. Mitt Romney supports teaching family values in schools, and on the list goes. But again, this is a tremendous resource that people need to have in order to understand where these two candidates cut through all the rhetoric and figure out where they really stand on the positions.
And all of this information is taken directly from their campaign websites, the positions that they set forth, or on the issues, which is quotes from these different candidates with regards to their positions on the issues. We also talk about religious liberty. We talk about the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. Obviously, there's pros and cons with that. One is for, one is against. All of that is set forth in this guide. We talk about gun rights, government oversight, fiscal reform with regards to taxes and immigration, Israel, the positions that these presidential candidates have on the judiciary, and so forth. And then after we go through the presidential candidates, we then go to a number of the United States Senate candidates for office as well. We begin with Arkansas, and there we have two people going back and forth with the comparison column. We also have Connecticut. These are states where these races are toss-up. They're close, or they are swing states. We don't have all the Senate candidates, but these are the ones where the rest of the country seems to be looking at there may be a possible turning point one way or another, either Democrat or Republican. We look at the state of Florida, and Florida has two different candidates. One is Bill Nelson, who's an incumbent, and then Connie Mack, who is a current member of Congress, and he is now running for United States Senate. So we go through and compare that. We also have the race that is up in Missouri that has been in the news quite a bit, and that is the race with regards to Congressman Todd Akin and Senator Claire McCaskill. And we go through and compare and contrast those individual candidates' positions on there as well. So this is very comprehensive. It's footnoted. You can get it at lcaction.org, or you can go to lc.org, and you can download those. You can email those to your friends, post them on Facebook. I would encourage people to learn about the candidates and educate other friends and your members of your church and your community about where these candidates stand.
We should emphasize this is a free offer. We download it as a PDF. You can print it out. You can print out as many copies as you like. You can hand them out to friends and family members. We encourage that because there is a lot of misinformation and disinformation that is out there right now in the public realm, and people need to cut through the very brief soundbite information that is sent out there. You know, the mainstream media is pretty clearly has its favorite candidates, and it is pushing talking points from those campaigns of those whom the mainstream media supports. I encourage people to get this resource so they have the actual facts, the actual voting records, where, in their own words, where the candidates stand on these very important issues. And again, print out as many copies as you can, hand them out to friends, family, church members, whoever you can. We've got to get the word out on where these candidates really stand.
And we also have the voter guide. It's the only one that I know of in existence. It's fairly comprehensive between the two different party platforms, the Democratic and the Republican national platforms that they released during their various respective conventions. We have that as well. That's available. So you can see where the platforms compare and contrast. And as we get additional voter guides, we will post those as well. If you have a voter guide or know of an organization that is producing one, Liberty Counsel will review those free of charge to make sure that they are compliant with C3 regulations. Voter guides need to be objective, and they need to cover a broad range of issues and not favor one candidate over the next. We're just simply trying to make sure these voter guides are objective and educational, and then it's up to the individuals to make their decision. Certainly, we're encouraging pastors and churches to register their people to vote. You can have all these different values. You can know where the candidates stand, but if you don't have your voter registration in order, you can't vote on November the 6th. And we have one more Sunday from the day of this broadcast where pastors can actually encourage people to vote. You've got to be registered for the presidential election 30 days before that election, so time is running out to become registered.
Well, pastors can even bring voter registration cards and have a voter registration drive in the church if they like.
That's right. In fact, you can contact your local registrar, and they can oftentimes set up right there in your church to register. You don't tell them to register Republican, Democrat, or Independent. That's up to them, but you encourage them to register. I would encourage you to preach on the issue of why it's important to vote. This is not a political act. It's a witness to the community. As you are on Sunday, you must also act on Tuesday. I encourage you to go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org, for more information on voter registration and what pastors and churches can do this coming cycle. It's an important election. I encourage you to speak up. Silence at this time in history is simply not an option, either for pastors or for individuals here in America. Voting is a talent that is given to us by God. Go to Liberty Counsel's website, lc.org. We're also trying to get information out to churches all over the country, tens of thousands of churches. So if you'd like to help finance this project, go to Liberty Counsel's website and give Liberty Counsel a tax-deductible contribution to help educate the pastors in this country.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.